all, I am Disha Shukla and welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to discuss about spread spectrum. Spread spectrum refers to a system originally developed for military application to provide secure communication by spreading the signal over a large frequency band. Different spread spectrum techniques are available, but all have one idea in common: the key that is attached to the communication channel. The manner of inserting this code defines precisely the spread spectrum technology. The term spread spectrum refers to the expansion of the signal bandwidth by several orders of magnitude, in some cases which occurs when a key is attached to the communication channel. The formal definition of spread spectrum is more precise, and it is said as an RF communication system in which the baseband signal bandwidth is intentionally spread over a large bandwidth by injecting a high frequency signal. As a direct consequence, energy is used in transmitting the signal, and it is spread over a wider band and appears as a noise. The ratio in dBs between the spread baseband and the original signal is called the processing gain. Typical spread spectrum processing gains run from 10 decibels to 60 decibels. Now, spread spectrum, as I already said, is a technique that is used for transmitting the radio or telecommunication signals. The term refers to the practice of spreading the transmitted signal to occupy the frequency spectrum available for transmission. The advantages include noise reduction, security, and resistance to jamming and interception. Now, to apply a spread spectrum technique, simply we need to inject the corresponding spread spectrum code somewhere in the transmitting chain before the antenna. This injection is called the spreading operation. The effect is to diffuse the information in a larger bandwidth. Conversely, you can remove the spread spectrum code, that is, despreading the code, at a point in the receiver chain before the data is retrieved. A despreading operation reconstitutes the information into an original bandwidth. Obviously, the same code must be known in advance at both the ends of the transmission channel. In some circumstances, the code should be known only by those two parties. Now, why do you need spread spectrum? So, a collective class of signaling techniques are employed before transmitting a signal to provide a secure communication known as spread spectrum modulation. The main advantage of spread spectrum communication technique is to prevent the interference, whether it is intentional or unintentional. The signals modulated with these techniques are hard to interfere and cannot be jammed. An intruder with no official access is never allowed to crack them. Hence, these techniques are used for military purposes. This spread spectrum signals transmit at a low power density and has a wide spread of signals. Moving further, the whole process is done using the pseudo-noise sequence. But what is a pseudo-noise sequence? So, a pseudo-noise sequence is a coded sequence of ones and zeros with a certain autocorrection properties, and that is called pseudo-noise coding sequence. It is used in the spreading techniques. It is a maximum length sequence which is a type of a cyclic code. I mean, after some time, the whole sequence will be repeated again and hence it is called a cyclic code. Now, moving further, as you can see, the figure represents a narrowband signal in the frequency domain. These narrowband signals are easily jammed by any other signals in the same band. Likewise, the signal can also be intercepted since the frequency band is fixed and narrow. The idea behind the spread spectrum is to use more bandwidth than the original message while maintaining the same signal power. A spread spectrum signal does not have a clearly distinguishable peak in the spectrum. This makes the signal more difficult to distinguish from the noise and therefore more difficult to jam or intercept. Now, the spread spectrum communications are widely used today for military, industrial, avionics, scientific and civil uses. Moving further, when you apply a spread spectrum to this narrow signal, it will spread the whole bandwidth over a larger frequency, and hence now the power density is low and energy is spread, so the band of the signal will occupy a wide range, and this kind of a signal is hard to intercept. Now, in spread spectrum, as I already said, we combine the signals from different sources to fit into a larger bandwidth, but our goals are to prevent the eavesdropping and the jamming. And to achieve these goals, spread spectrum techniques adds redundancy. See, spread spectrum radio communication is a favorite technology of military because it resists the jamming and it is hard for an enemy to intercept, just as they are unlikely to be intercepted by a military opponent. A signal that occupies a bandwidth of B is spread out to occupy a bandwidth of BSS, that is bandwidth spread spectrum. All the signals are spread to occupy the same bandwidth BSS. Signals are spread with different codes so that they can be separated at the receivers. Signals can be spread in a frequency domain or in the time domain. Now this is how it actually works. You have a signal that has a narrow bandwidth, and then when you apply the spreading process to it using a spreading code, your whole signal will be spreaded in a larger band. And this is how the actual process takes place. That is, we have an input data. From the input data, it is passed to the encoder. Then the signal is modulated using the pseudo noise generator, and you get some, and the pseudo noise generator would produce a spreading code. Using this spreading code, a modulator would modulate the signal that will be passed using the channel. And at the receiver end, we have a demodulator. The demodulator will again demodulate the signal using the same spreading code generated by the same pseudo noise generator. And hence you will get the actual output, where the channel decoder would decode that output and you will get the original output back. Now, the spread spectrum communications are widely used, as I said, but mainly they are used, the main applications would include jam resistance in the communication system, first. The second is CDMA radios. It is useful in the multiple access communication wherein many users communicate over a shared channel. Here, the assignment of a unique spectrum sequence to each user allows him to simultaneously transmit over a common channel with minimal mutual interference. Such access techniques often simplifies the network control requirements considerably. High resolution ranging, the third application of spread spectrum. Spread spectrum communication is often used in high resolution ranging. It is possible to locate an object with good accuracy using SS techniques. One example is where it can be used in global positioning system, that is GPS. Here, an object can use signals from several satellites transmitting spread spectrum signals according to a predefined format to determine its own position accurately on the globe. The next application is wireless LANs, that is WLANs. Wireless LANs widely use spread spectrum communications. IEEE 802.11 is a standard that is developed for mobile communication and widely implemented throughout the world. The standard defines three types of physical layer communication, that is infrared communication, direct sequence spread spectrum communication, and frequency hopping spread spectrums. Now here in this whole channel, we'll be discussing the two, that is direct sequence spread spectrum and the frequency hopping spread spectrum. Now, as you already know, as I've already said in this video, that what is spread spectrum, and it is again further divided into two types, that is direct sequence and frequency hopping, DSSS and FHSS, and that we'll be seeing further in the next video. But summing up the whole thing, spreading is necessary so that the narrowband signal that can be intercepted easily spreads throughout the bandwidth, and hence the way the intruder gets it becomes less and the noise added becomes less. So this is the whole idea about spreading the whole signal, and how the method is used. I mean, how using a pseudo noise generator you can add the spreading code to it and hence spread the whole signal. So this is all about spreading technology, spreading techniques. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Until then, keep learning.